Chris Lovell here with another edition of Patriot Talk. My man Joe Sexton, my guest, as always. Colton Coons does a great job of taking care of us behind the camera. And thank you to Gene Messer Ford Lincoln for sponsoring these awesome shows and letting us talk to our coaches here at Liberty High School. So appreciate the folks over at Gene Messer Ford Lincoln. Okay, so we'll get 55-12 win over Idalou. Don't want to bury the lead there or anything, but were you anticipating rain? Had you practiced in it? Did you have your big barrel full of water and dunking footballs in there and all the shenanigans that people do, because it was a bit of a mess.
Yeah, it was.
I saw you in a polo, then I see you with a long rain jacket and a hood over it, and
no.
Okay.
No.
No to what?
No to all of the above.
Okay.
So, we live in Lubbock, Texas, so getting to practice in the rain doesn't happen very often. But I looked at the radar and the weather forecast several times during the day and didn't really see anything significant. It just came out of nowhere.
I agree.
I'm looking at the forecast and I saw some showers like pregame. And there were probably 17, 18 drops on the sidewalk, and I didn't really plan for it. So didn't think it was going to be a problem, and then all of a sudden it was. Here it is.
All of a sudden.
Welcome to West Texas. So you never know.
And it just sat there.
Yes.
It just sat there, and it blew down, it blew sideways.
I had one of the parents catch me after the game and said it got south and turned around and came back, and so we got it twice. So,
luckily it wasn't cold, because then that would have been a completely game changer.
Right, if that would have been in November, we would have had a problem.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, can we move this game into our indoor?
Yeah, we can move in there.
How much before we get to the game, I'm curious, how much did all of that affect your team?
Well, luckily, not much.
Okay.
One of the things we talked about at halftime, especially on the defensive side, is uniforms are slick when they get wet. We have to be very sure of our tackles. We can't just go in there and anticipate we're going to make the play. We have to be very sure of those tackles, and I thought we did a good job of that. Offensively, Coach Newton was talking to the backs about making sure we hold on to the football, because it was – and it kind of was an issue. I probably kind of overcorrected just a little bit on one of our extra point attempts. I was worried about the ball being wet, so I went ahead and went for two instead of trying to kick it. And Gonzo did a great job. Will and Brody didn't miss a beat, so it was good. I probably should have went ahead and kicked it on the one that we didn't convert.
How are you supposed to know, though? Yeah, you got to go with your gut.
Yeah, well, sometimes you overcoach.
55-12, it didn't really matter. Okay, I am curious to note, I think many people are our lovely viewing audience here. Are you one that has your own raincoat off to the side, or does someone bring that to you?
No, I keep it in my locker.
Yeah, but how did you acquire it on Friday?
At halftime.
Oh, okay.
I walked into my locker and pulled it out.
I was really hoping that somebody had handed you one.
I'm really not that high maintenance. I know you were wanting me.
I was hoping that you would be there. I wanted you to be that guy.
No.
Hey man, can somebody get my coat for me? Yeah. But
never.
Yeah, because when the rain starts happening, you're on the sidelines, man. It's just it's kind of a free for all. Like you got to go get it quick, and the game's not stopping, because this is not. There was no lightning, so it's
that was the weird part.
Play on. Yeah, play on. Okay, let's get to this game. 55-12 win over Idalou. Last week we talked about what a crazy game it was over at their place, and you guys had really made a big deal during the week about, what was it, 27-13? You had led this game with
6:52.
I was going to say 6 or 7 minutes left, but right in there in the middle. And that's really what you try to talk to your kids about. And so even if you go to the locker room 21-12, I'm sure that was brought up again.
It was
close to the same.
It was really close to where we were the year before at halftime, and we reminded them about what happened. And now we have, Idalou sitting over there, who is a, perennial powerhouse, and you just know that at some point they're gonna get on a roll. And now it's raining, and so there's just a whole lot of circumstances that we talked about at halftime, and I just asked them if they'd ever played in the rain like that before. And back in the old days,
it's fun.
You mean you're on the mud, and
Yeah.
you got mud in your ears and every place else. But I think they had a good time playing in the wet.
Yeah. What's your opinion of that right there? You a fan or no?
I'm not a big fan of the candied pumpkins.
Okay. Somebody's heckling us.
Well, I noticed that when I sat down, but I figured there's been a lot of hands on that, so I didn't want to eat it.
Not really. It's.
Well, you've touched it with your pen.
I have touched it. I've moved it or whatever. But
right. No, I'm not a fan of those. Now the candy corn, I will enjoy candy corn around All Hallows Eve. Yeah. Yes.
I'll just be done with it. There's a trash can right there. Because you're not really a fan of that either, are you? Of the pumpkin either, you said.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
No.
Good. Okay.
No.
I was tired of looking at it. It's throwing off the color scheme.
Oh yeah.
This navy blue and red and all that. 7 different guys score a touchdown. I think that if you want to know who won the game, other than looking at the final score, if I tell you, and I think this is pretty close to right, but you run for basically 340 yards. They didn't even run for 40.
Right.
The end.
That's one stat that you look at, and
it's going to hold true almost
9 out of 10 times. That's probably going to be the tell-all.
And it's not necessarily like we rushed for 115, they rushed for 95. No, this is not. This is a lot to just nothing at all.
Right. Defense. Our defensive line was amazing the other night. Isaac Rodriguez played a great game. Braxton and Jeremiah in the middle, and Rylan on the other end, and they made a lot of tackles. And even when they didn't make the tackle, they were still making plays by moving people, rearranging blockers, and it was fun to watch them.
Speaking of, and maybe we'll do that next week with that particular position group. I already had it down this week to want to highlight your offensive line, like individually, like
right.
Kind of go through the.
Well, they were our offensive players of the week this
Love
week.
It. Well, and
because of that stat right there.
When you run for 340 and the other team doesn't run for much, but yeah, they obviously had because first game in Liberty history that you go over 500 yards total offense?
I believe so, yes.
Is that right? Okay.
I don't remember that ever happening last year.
It's a fairly small sample size. There's a chance that maybe you eclipse that again this year. So we shall see. And maybe it'll be dry weather, so it'll be easier to do that.
Well, with the weather being like it was, I think that's a pretty significant number.
Sure, absolutely.
I mean, that's pretty good for dry weather.
Yeah. 21-12 at halftime, and then obviously it ends up being a final of 55-12, and you score 34 points there in the second half. Okay, so your tackles, a couple of seniors of about 10, 12 on your team. Is that about right?
15.
15, okay, that was close. Barrett Shigerick and Paxton Lair. Paxton's left tackle, Barrett's right tackle. Hudson Hefner, center.
Manny Garcia, right guard.
And Dylan Thomas, left guard.
Yes.
So just kind of speak to that group, because you have said in some of the shows that we've done, we go as they go. This is what's so improved on our team. They've gotten bigger. They've gotten stronger. They set the tone. But, who are they as people? And kind of, just kind of go through some of that.
It's really a fun group. It doesn't matter what time we finish with practice. You walk by the film room on the way to the laundry room, and there's those guys in there. They're watching film.
Probably eating something.
Well, maybe.
That's what linemen do.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what linemen do.
But
they snack.
But they're always in there watching film with Coach Newton.
Okay.
And it does not matter really what time we finish practice. We could finish at 10 o'clock, and they're in there watching film. You know.
And that's what people I don't think realize about offensive line play in most cases is how much there's going on there.
Oh yeah, they're constantly having to make plays on, or make calls on techniques, and because we're pulling to go here, and all right, if he's a 4-eye, if he's inside, if he's over the top, and so they're constantly talking to each other,
having to identify fronts and all.
Yes,
things, yeah.
And if you sometimes with football players, when they get to football practice, they don't really like to talk all that much. But when they're in class, they're a little chirpy sometimes. But with these 5 guys, and very rarely do you ever see 1 or 2 of them by themselves. That's the thing that I've noticed.
Chemistry.
Yeah, you have 3 or 4 of them together, or you'll have 2 or 3 of them together. Very rarely will you see one of them by themselves. Whether it's, and there's always some shenanigans going on.
Some tomfoolery?
Tomfoolery,
okay.
Yes.
There we go. Like somebody trying to heckle us with
somebody.
pumpkin.
Yeah, exactly.
And there was some rumors of some shenanigans going on in my office the other day too, and I heard a mention of a certain guest that is looking to cause trouble.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm wise to your little game, man. 7 different people scored touchdowns. Balanced. I think you had all 3 quarterbacks either threw or ran for a touchdown. Yes. I saw Cy Leach's mom Monday morning. The first thing I said to her is like, how about that? He got in the end zone. Jamison got him 1, and then Colton threw for 2 and ran for 1.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, and then all 3 running backs also.
I was worried about my man Caden Joseph because it looked like, I don't know if he was being dramatic or like there was a hamstring problem, but I was a little concerned. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. No.
Is he okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Because he ran and then it's like he was holding, I was like, is this some dance that I'm unaware of? I'm just like an old, and I'm not familiar with what they're doing.
No, I think he's good.
Okay, good. Because he was fast.
Yeah, once he cleared the linebackers, everybody on the sideline knew what was about to happen because he's incredibly fast.
Yeah, and we know Talon is fast, and obviously Chadwick. I just think it's impressive. You've got depth at key spots. You're not leaning on just one player. Obviously Coleman Hendricks and Levi Walker and Pierce Ferroni and Will Hudson, Nash Gonzalez scored. Nash scored from 57 out.
Yeah,
he was moving.
He was moving,
yeah.
And
need to get a GPS on that boy.
So I told him as soon as he caught that just a little arrow out in the flat, and I saw him take off, and I saw a safety coming, and I said, "There's no way that they're going to tackle him."
Yeah,
just because once he gets rolling, I mean, he's deceptively fast.
And did he miss Monday's practice?
No.
Because he went to go see his Broncos play on Sunday. Is the word I got.
Yeah, no, they were back.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was hoping he didn't miss, but
nope,
I mean, if he did, that's
not.
where he was. He's a big Bronco fan.
I think they got back Sunday night late. And,
okay, there you go.
And he was happy.
Yeah,
because the Broncos
beat the Titans there. So there you go. So yeah, just a good night. It was wet. It was dreary, but it was a blowout win. You got to play a ton. You mentioned the defensive line. Anybody else you want to mention on the defensive side of the ball that contributed to just Idalou not being able to do much at all on offense?
Our defensive MVP this week was Becton Hogg.
Okay.
I mean, he is he's a phenomenal linebacker. He does a great job. Kason Brubaker had a good night. We had several people besides our Luke Livingston came down and made some good tackles. Jackson Thomas made some good plays. I mean, you could just go through the whole defensive lineup, and if somebody, there's always going to be somebody making a play.
Yeah.
So
we're still
fun.
Working on penalties.
Yeah, those sometimes they just show up.
Are these funny penalties, or is this? Or is this like?
I know when we talked about it on Monday, they didn't think it was very funny.
Okay.
After practice.
Okay. Okay. Understood.
So we usually address those on Monday and try to get our point across.
So, unfunny penalties.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were a few that were not very humorous to me, but then again, there was, Jackson Funk had a penalty where he's blocking his guy, and I think they ended up calling, I don't know if it was blocking the back or whatever, but it was not, and Jackson was just doing his job. And so stuff like that, we review all of our penalties. We go through and we find them. That's one of the things that I do on Saturday morning when I'm doing laundry is I go through and look at, all right, was that really a personal foul, or was that just if you're closing on somebody on the sideline, you really don't, it's hard to take into consideration, is he out of bounds? Is he real close? So I'll look at that, and I have the privilege of watching it in slow motion.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
But we'll look at those, and if it's something we need to talk about, we will.
We'll address it.
Yeah.
In your way.
Yes,
Yeah,
we have a really good way of doing that.
Have you? There was some things I was going to ask you about, some stuff that was just happening in the sport of football throughout the last week. I was just curious your opinions on some of this. Have you ever, in any sport, in any coaching situation, have you ever punished an athlete after a win or a loss, like immediately after?
Mm-mm.
No. Did you see? Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen this?
Was somebody having a run after a game? Did I see that?
After a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I never have.
Which I thought was strange, but it's because the people are like, man, that's pretty impressive. Like after a win, but then you could go, hey, you're just trying to show off.
Or if there's a really good reason.
Yeah, maybe there was. Yeah, you got in a brawl, and it's like, no, we need to set the tone right now.
There was, really nothing in football.
Yeah.
I have at a former school. I have when we got back from a basketball tournament and didn't play well, we had a very spirited practice whenever we got back. So
Okay, and this was you as a player?
No.
Oh.
One of our basketball teams didn't perform very well, so we practiced when we got home.
Okay.
And they thought I had lost my mind. So
Okay.
But no,
not punishment, but just practice.
Yeah, just practice.
Yeah, that's right. Spirited, yes. Air quotes. Have you ever been? We're in the trust tree here. Okay, we can tell on ourselves.
Sure.
You ever been scammed before?
Yes, big time.
Do tell.
I'm in college. I was late to work. I was going to work. Somebody knocked on my window and said, hey, I lived in an apartment complex, and the guy says, hey, can you give me a ride to cash a check? We just moved into this apartment complex. There's my wife. And I look. Well, of course, there's nobody there. And he said, oh, she just walked around the corner. Very thorough. So I take the guy to cash a check. We go to one place. They won't cash his check. So I drive him to another place, won't cash his check. And so finally he goes, well, I think the deal was he was getting...
And what I have a feeling is you're going to give him the money, he's going to give you the check and tell you can go cash.
Close. Even better. So actually it was...
I've never heard this is good. Okay.
But it was medicine for his daughter that was sick. So, gosh, they just get you in the heart. So after a couple of places we go to cash this check, I just go, here's the $45 or $50, whatever it is, and just use it. And we stop at a stoplight, and he jumps out.
Kind of a telltale sign.
And I'm just looking at him running down the street, and I'm going,
I've been had.
Yeah. So I go to work, I come back, I see a note on my apartment door that says, if you see this guy...
Don't give him any money.
Don't give him any money.
Too late.
He already got me. So lesson learned. So yes, I have been scammed.
Okay, pretty thorough story.
Yeah. It was. He was good.
And this was here in Lubbock.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. He was very thorough and with all. I even took him to the pharmacy, where they won't take this check. Can we? So.
And he's probably like thinking to himself, "God, I found the most helpful guy. I really wish he wouldn't be so thorough with it help."
And he was driving me around town.
Just give me the money, man. Just give me the money.
Meanwhile, I was late to work.
Have you ever said any the wrong thing in an interview or on camera or to a referee or anything before that you would love to kind of rewind it and have back? The reason I asked about that is because there was an incident last weekend where there was language used in a national television broadcast, and I think the coach was like,
yeah,
but too late.
I try to be very conscious about stuff like that.
And you're pretty good.
Yeah.
But we all, the more opportunities you have behind a microphone, the more you're going to,
I'm sure that I've messed up in here before. I think
not in here, the water's warm in here. I'm talking about just out there in the world,
out there in the open water.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I'm sure I have. I try to be kind to the officials as much as possible.
Even when they call a block in the back when it's not.
Yeah. Well, gosh. That one was tough because I'll tell you what, Jackson Funk was blocking his tail off.
Yeah, doing what you want.
He was doing exactly what we needed to do, and I think really what got him is when he knocked the guy down, he slid on the wet turf. So it might have made it look worse, something like that.
Sometimes things are called based on optics.
Yes.
Of like, well, there's no way that, but it's just like, well, that looked like a travel to me, or that looked like a hold to me or whatever.
Last year when we were in Borger, I think Coach Newton and I might have said something to an official.
I mean, I appreciate it.
But it's, he was sensitive.
Some levels above high school are starting to be transparent about some of these officials and kind of telling.
Well, some of them will. I don't think we have any around here, but some of them will try to bait you into saying stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's unfortunate.
So I'm.
And most of these guys do a phenomenal job.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do, and we know most of them.
Yeah, we know
personally. Yeah, and
would, known them for a long time.
Would enjoy a beverage with them if ever given the opportunity. So anyway, but yeah, I was just curious because it's emotional sport.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so Monahans. 7:00 Friday night, Patriot Stadium. They're struggling a little bit, but just take me through the matchup there real quick before we let you out of here.
Well, they run an odd front defense. Pretty similar to ours. They're very big and physical, and their quarterback have a great quarterback, got a good running back, good receivers. So they're very physical on defense, and it's going to be a tough one for us, and which we are. I think we're going to be up to the challenge. We're going to see some size that kind of matches our size just a little bit. So it'll be good for us.
For the first time this year,
yes.
You're saying? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and that's
because they've got some big boys.
Because I feel like in some ways you're kind of ramping up competition a little bit as you
yes.
go, and
it worked out like that. Somebody asked me this morning if I had planned it like that, and I'm like, I was just trying to find games.
You didn't have the luxury.
No, we didn't. We didn't have a whole lot of people calling us wanting to play.
Will you play? Yes.
Yes,
and,
I will.
That's kind of how that went.
Yeah, if that date's open.
Have you already worked on next year?
Yes. We've already got. For the most part,
don't spill it, but
it's it's pretty solid.
Okay,
there could be a couple changes week, 4, 5, 6.
Because I'm guessing that you probably are looking at it going, we need to really test ourselves next year. Like we need to throw our kids into the deep end of the pool, and like that would only benefit us.
Right, and we will.
Okay, good. Yeah, there you go. All right, my coach, appreciate it. Yeah,
you bet.
Good luck Friday night. Appreciate you being in here as always. Thank you to Colton Coons for taking care of us. Thank you to the folks from Gene Messer Ford Lincoln. For Coach Sexton, for Colton Coons, this is Chris Lovell thanking you again for watching Patriot Talk. We'll talk to you next time.